This has got to be one of the most raw and real moments I'll probably ever document. I'm not even sure if I'll keep posting after this one, but there are real moments where I just want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore.
This has got to be the worst thing I ever decided to do. Cannot wait for it to be over now.
I don't really have a leg to stand on. I mean, we're getting a divorce, so he can talk to whoever he wants. I just think it's a little disrespectful.
Welcome back. Today's story follows a woman who spent 20 years married while raising 3 children as a stay-at-home mother. After years of feeling unhappy in the relationship, she decided it was time to file for divorce and begin a new chapter that in the weeks that followed. She openly shared the emotional impact of that decision. She spoke about struggling with daily life, finding it difficult to eat, sleep, or adjust to the changes, while continuing to document her journey online. As time passed, she also reacted to signs that her former husband was moving on with his own life. Those moments became major turning points in her story, revealing how difficult it was to let go even after the decision to separate had already been made. But as the timeline continues, the most dramatic chapter is still ahead.
I'm just curious, how many of you have been living in a loveless marriage for years and years and years, and living together and doing everything that you can for your kids to keep them happy? I've been doing it now for about 8 years, and I finally just said enough was enough, and it was time to put myself first. But just really wondering how many of you have been living this way and what you did to stay sane, because this has got to be the worst thing I ever decided to do. Cannot wait for it to be over now.
I'm sitting here filling out all the paperwork needed to get in front of the judge for divorce, and I didn't think that I would be this sad. I know it's so confusing because it's like I know that I need to go, and I know that this is what's best for me and the kids, but it's like 20 years just gone. And I really thought that I was okay. And it just creeps up on you when you least expect it.
Let's start at the beginning. In her earliest videos, she describes the divorce as one of the biggest decisions of her life. Even in those first updates, she admits the emotional weight of the choice was far greater than she had expected. She also explains that she believed the decision would ultimately be better for the family. Whether viewers agree with that conclusion or not, it's clear she was trying to justify a life-changing choice while still processing the emotions that came with it. As the timeline continues, her reflections become more personal, revealing a growing sense of doubt and uncertainty. It's in those later moments that the story begins to take a different direction.
This has got to be one of the most raw and real moments I'll probably ever document. I'm not even sure if I'll keep posting after this one, but I just felt called to show what real depression and anxiety looks like as a mom of 3, as a woman nearing the end of a divorce, just navigating life right now, and it just seems really, really hard. And there are real moments where I just want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm struggling to just get out of bed. I haven't washed my hair in God knows how long. And I'm just crippled with anxiety. Just trying to pray every bad thought away. But it's so loud in my head, and I just don't know how I'm ever gonna get out of this situation. I'm hoping that maybe I'll find my people here who can help me get through this really hard time.
She says she wanted to show viewers what depression and emotional struggle can really look like during one of the hardest periods of her life. Throughout that time, she continued documenting her experience, sharing both the difficult moments and the emotional toll the divorce had taken on her. Even while describing how overwhelmed she felt, she kept returning to the camera to update her audience. Those videos became a record of her journey, capturing both her struggles and her attempts to make sense of them. But the next chapter of her story introduces another revelation, one that adds an entirely new layer to everything she's shared so far.
Just a little update. Although I did cry myself to sleep, I woke up feeling a little less anxious and got myself up. I haven't washed my hair yet, to be honest, but changed my clothes and went to my son's football, which was pretty good. It was a nice little distraction until a woman that I know my husband used to talk to on Snapchat was at the game, and then he spent the remainder of the day sitting with her. I don't even think he knows that I'm aware that they used to talk on Snap, but I don't really have a leg to stand on. I mean, we're getting a divorce, so he can talk to whoever he wants. I just think it's a little disrespectful and doing it right in front of the kids, and they have no idea, but whatever. So I'm home now. I'm gonna force myself to eat something, and the goal is to shower and to wash my hair and get some rest. Oh, and tomorrow, something to look forward to is that I'm going to see my sister, and we're gonna go shopping and find her a dress for a very special event that I can't talk about just yet. But yeah, I think it'll be better. I can't wait to see her. She is one person that just makes me feel so much better. So I'm excited to see her.
As the timeline continues, she openly admits that the situation has become far more complicated than she expected. Even after deciding to end the marriage, she finds it difficult to watch her former husband begin moving forward with his own life. She also reveals that she was aware of developments in his personal life, showing just how emotionally invested she still was despite the separation. Those moments highlight the conflict between wanting to move on and struggling to let go at the same time. She continued documenting her journey online, sharing both painful moments and updates from her daily life. That contrast became a defining part of her story, as deeply emotional reflections appeared alongside ordinary routines and future plans. One of the most controversial moments comes when she shares footage of her former husband during an emotional period. The decision to make such a private moment public sparked strong reactions and raised broader questions about the balance between personal storytelling and respecting the privacy of others. As her timeline unfolds, one thing becomes increasingly clear. The emotions surrounding the divorce remained unresolved long after the legal process had ended.
Hey guys, sorry, I just felt like I needed to kind of give you a follow-up. You know, what you guys saw in that video is like a tidbit of the story and what's going on, and I completely understand why some people are commenting the way that they are. I thought I posted like a 10-minute video and it didn't record, so I'm going to do my best to do it again. First and foremost, I would like to say I grew up in an alcoholic drug addict home. It's caused me PTSD. Like I've gone through tons of therapy to get over it. I know it all too well. The comments about like, why are you talking to him right now? Like, there's no point. You're wasting your energy. I'm aware of all of that. Trust and believe that I would not have normally done that. My son was asking me to do so, and my youngest, and he needed me to say something to him in that moment. It was more for my son than it was for this man who's not going to remember. We usually have conversations with him about treatment and about his drinking and how it affected all of us, obviously when he's sober. So I hear you, trust me, and definitely feels like a waste of time for me. Number two, as far as what you guys are seeing when he's talking about mediation and custody and the agreement, he agreed in our papers that if he is drinking, he will lose full custody and I will be responsible for the kids. And then we will decide if he will have contact or if he will need supervised visits, so on and so forth. So just know that the kids are always protected. Number one, I am a mama bear. I will kill for my children, and he will not be able to harm my kids in any way, shape, or form. We are at the very tail end of finishing everything up, and once everything is official, it will be good. Also, some of the things where it's like, oh my God, you're disgusting. How could you post this when he's at his lowest, so on and so forth. I have done everything I possibly can for that man. Asking him to go to treatment, trying to intervene, talking to his family and friends, all the above, protecting the children from him, yada, yada, yada. And the only thing that this man worries about in his life is his self-image. And he has done a very good job of keeping things very closed off at home, what's going on personally versus what people see on the outside. So me posting this was almost like my last effort to help this guy. I hope and pray that it is the most embarrassing thing that he ever goes through, and it is his rock bottom, so that he can get his life together and be a good dad, because he has not been an alcoholic his whole life. I wouldn't have married him or had children with him if that were the case, because I have done enough with family members drinking, drugging. It's affected my entire life. I would have never chosen a man like that. This is within the last few years that, it's become what it is. So please know that it was never my intention to post this, but at this point, I want him so badly to get help, and I really do believe that this is going to be the thing that opens his eyes and at least gives him maybe a chance at trying to get better. I've been in your shoes where I've watched something and I said, oh God, should they really have posted that, or that was a little personal, or whatever. And until you're in that person's shoes, trust and believe, like, they're doing it for a reason. And that is the purpose of me posting that yesterday, is to show what this awful disease does to families. And I've gotten a lot of amazing messages from people understanding that, praying for us, wanting to make sure that we're okay. But it was also to out him. And if you have a problem with that, keep scrolling. I'm so sorry. But I don't regret it, not even in the least bit, because I want him to get better. I want him to have a relationship with his kids again. My kids deserve to have their father here with them. I lost my dad from this disease on his 46th birthday. I lost my mom this April from the exact same thing, guys. I've been there. I've done that. I don't want to bury another loved one, and I cannot begin to describe, to even understand what it would be like watching my children go through this. So I'm sure I'll do more story times and explain more, but I hope that kind of sums it up and answers some of the stuff from the video. Have a good day, guys.
Looking back at her own timeline, she describes a marriage that eventually reached a breaking point. After choosing to leave, she expected a fresh start, but the reality proved far more complicated than she imagined. As time passed, she struggled with seeing her former husband move forward while she was still processing the emotional aftermath. Her story became less about the divorce itself and more about the unexpected challenges that followed. One lesson stands out from her journey. Ending a relationship doesn't always end the emotions tied to it. Sometimes the hardest part begins after the decision is made, when both people start building separate lives and the consequences become impossible to ignore.